Hi, students. It's Mrs. Girot, your digital arts teacher, and I don't know about you, but for me, what happened today in our digital arts class was a little bit of a surprise. I know that group work is something that I struggled with when I was in school, but it seemed like the challenges weren't as difficult as they are here in online world, where if you were in a classroom, at least everyone was sitting in the circle, and if you were trying to talk to them, they couldn't ignore you, right? They were sitting right there. So a teacher could come by and easily see who's working and who wasn't working. So in this online world, it's got its own challenges, and we really need to learn to overcome those challenges together. That brings us to the August 6th live class debriefing. What just happened?
In a bit. For my graphic design history lecture, we had to make a 3 to 4 minute video summarizing every chapter we covered during the semester. And the horrible twist was, it was a group project. Now, the thing about a college lecture is that you don't know anyone. You come in, sit down wherever you want, listen to the professor talk for like an hour and a half, and then you leave. Maybe one time you'll forget a pencil and have to ask the person sitting in front of you for one, and then you forget to give it back and now you have some random stranger's pencil, but they don't care.
And it's just like that in our online world. We're sitting there in a classroom full of all of these people that we don't know, but we can't even see your face.
Out of all the things I hate about school and just anything else that I hate in general, the one thing I really hate that will never change are group projects. See, if you have the option to work on it as a group or by yourself, I will always go by myself. Unless I have like a really good friend in the class and they're like, hey, you want to be partners? I don't know if it's just because it involves social interaction and working together, but in my opinion, group projects are just chaos.
And I have a feeling that a lot of you feel that way too. And I felt that way. As a teacher, I have to tell you, for students, you're thinking, I don't want to do group projects. But guess what? Teachers are like, I don't want to do group projects. Why? Because it is chaos. And it's chaos for you and it's chaos for us. Why? Because we're actually hoping that when we put your minds together, we will get greatness.
Is group work a thorn in your side? This video will equip you with the strategies you'll need to help your group be successful, leaving you anxiety-free about your next project. But why have strangers collaborated on projects? Research shows that we actually learn better and retain more information when we work with diverse perspectives. No matter what career you choose, some form of group work will be necessary, so starting now is great practice. So why are group projects sometimes a major headache? Even though it has led to great things, like Destiny's Child and the Rolling Stones. Yet still, most students don't do group work, but instead stitch the work of 4 to 5 different individuals together like it's Frankenstein's monster. The true purpose of group work is to use a range of perspectives to develop one polished and refined product.
And I paused there because I want us to reflect on that polished product. How many of you felt like you created the Frankenstein, and how many of you felt like you created that polished product? Let's look at what you guys created in class today. So first of all, I want to just thank everyone for trying so hard to work together and to collaborate. I know that some of the obstacles were technical. Sometimes if your cache hasn't been cleared, or if your computer hasn't been restarted in a while, Blackboard won't cooperate with you. You need to learn how to use the whiteboard tools a little more effectively. And you know what? Mrs. Giroux needs to give you white slides instead of black slides when you go to do your group work. So I learned something as well from this experience. Here is one of our group projects, and it turned out really nicely. Now, albeit we don't have all 4 people in the, well, yes, we did. We had 3 people in the group, a 4th person we needed in there. For educational level needed, bachelor's degree, maybe some more information, a bachelor's degree in what types of fields. So if you're working in a group and you've got 10 minutes and you get bachelor's degree in the first minute, spend the last 9 minutes elaborating, give us more information, give us quality. All right, the copywriter. And when I save these files from Blackboard, they just turn out this way and there's nothing I can do. So don't think that the group actually put their text like this on their slide. It actually was in the right quadrant. So good job on that. But as you can see, this is a project that isn't complete for whatever reason. And this project actually was completed. It shows funny. This is the first quadrant, the second, the third, and the fourth, or however, we should number them like the Cartesian coordinate system. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. But for some reason, when I save it, it just slides everything up. Tons of detail. This is a group that had synergy. This is a group that was working together very well. However, this could also be a group that had 2 people who did all of the work for 4 people. It could be a group that had 3 people who did all of the work for 4. So just because all 4 quadrants were completed on any of these doesn't necessarily mean that 4 people did the work. And excellent. So I saw a lot of people in there trying to think. A lot of people had issues with the text boxing because it was black and they couldn't see and they didn't know how to change it, or maybe Blackboard wasn't giving them the tool options. That's happened to me before. I know that's very frustrating. Very interesting. One of the things that I noticed was like game designer. Bam, people were very interested. There was a high level of relevance in game design. You notice that people really put the effort in for game design, whereas project manager, not a lot of effort there. Do you think maybe people just aren't interested in the project manager job? Well, let me tell you, project manager makes more money, and if I were going to be doing a project, I'd rather be the manager of the project because my salary would be a lot higher. Instructional designer. So this is a group that didn't have anything on the board. There could have been technical problems, but I'm guessing it was more of a communication and collaboration issue. Because even if one member of your team is having a technical issue, they could always chat in the chat bar their answer and ask someone else to post it on the whiteboard on their behalf. Isn't that what teams do? They help each other out. So if you are having a struggle, communicate with your team about that and then team problem solve. Okay, great. Chat your information in. I'll paste it to the board for you. Here's another example of a team that did not get anything accomplished. It doesn't mean that they weren't working, but something was amiss. Something was amiss. And there were actually rooms that I went into where no one responded to me, the teacher, like over and over and over again. I repeated myself. I called out their names and no one responded. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, imagine if I were a student and I thought, well, no one's saying anything. I'll just take the lead as the project manager. And then I go out on a limb and I get my microphone out and I get my mic out and no one responds to me. How embarrassing is that? Because I don't know if they're just sitting there ignoring me. I don't know if they've left the computer, but that makes me feel small when people don't respond to me. But we're not going to play small. Even though that might be a big challenge, we're not going to play small. So our objectives for today were to learn about digital media careers. And I think that all of you did develop an awareness of digital media career opportunities. You may not know all of the specifics and details of them, but you are now aware that they exist, right? And a lot of you at the beginning of class had careers I hadn't even thought of. I even took a screenshot. We had the movies, robotics, architects, branding specialists, video game design. I think that's one we had today. But you guys are way ahead of the curve. At least you know what types of opportunities are available. So some of you did take the time to go out and do some research and identified some knowledge and skills necessary. I recommend that whatever job it is that you're interested in doing, you do this type of research, because you might find out that, oh, that's different than what I thought it was going to be and I'm not interested. And it can also be a breadcrumb trail to different occupations that you might be more interested in. This number 3 was where our big flag was. Responsibility, dependability is huge. Ethics is huge, respect and cooperation. So if you are in a group and you disappear and you don't respond to any of your team members, we have an issue with dependability. We have an issue with ethics and responsibility and respect. A team can't work if you just check out. That's not what breakout rooms are for. And I'm sorry for those of you who had that experience. I was there with you for just a moment of it, and I struggled with you, and I know the struggle was real. And exhibiting high standards of personal performance with a positive work ethic and attitude, I saw that from so many of you. And I really am wanting to encourage you today. If you were the student who was in a room full of people who were unresponsive, I want you next time to take the initiative to leave your group. And if you're the only one, let's just say you're the only one in that group who wants to work and no one else does, go find a group that's working and say, hi, my group wasn't working. I want a part in this. Who's the project manager? What can I do to help? Okay. So do something to get in there and perform. And then next, the big one was collaborating, okay? And they were talking about wanting us to have those 21st century skills, implementing communication, critical thinking, and problem solving skills, communicating and collaborating. We really need to use our tools. That Blackboard is awesome. You've got the microphone, you've got the chat bar. You really need to use those tools to start communicating with each other in an effective professional way. That doesn't mean more personal chatting. So to summarize, when you are working on a project, you need to choose the leader or project manager or designate jobs within the first 30 seconds. We shouldn't be looking at 4 minutes later and no one has a job, or the first thing on the task list hasn't been completed yet. That just needs to happen quickly. So somebody needs to step up to the plate and volunteer if within the first 10 seconds nobody does it. Project managers, divide your groups so that everyone has a square or a task to complete, and that should be the next 30 seconds. Make it quick. Be task specific and have your team repeat back to you what they're doing so that you know that everyone is accountable. Use your mics. So project manager, delegate the task using your mic, and then everybody on the team, you repeat what your task is using the mic. So there's no question. Designers, don't procrastinate. Get on the mic and ask your team questions if you don't understand. It is so important that 5 minutes later, you don't have any work done and your project manager is asking what's going on and you are like, I don't know how to la la la. Well, you should have asked me 5 minutes ago when the project started, right? So guys, you really need to work on being accountable and responsible to one another. Project manager, if a member of your team is unresponsive, get on the mic and discuss it with your team, with the other members there, and just say something like, it looks like we only have 3 team members instead of 4. Jim Bob, will you please take the rest of this task in addition to your tasks, since these are 2 lighter duties, please? And get a response back, yep, I can do that. So just get it divided up as soon as possible. Identify your problems right away and come up with solutions right away so that the team can work together to be strong. So, what's the moral of the story of this debriefing of today's collaboration? We need to adapt collaboration to our online world. We need to use the tools that we have effectively and don't play small.
Read it aloud, please.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same.
Nowhere is this famous quote more apparent than in our collaboration groups when it's quiet and we're all alone with 3 or 4 other people that we don't know. And it's so tempting to play small, but we just can't. We're here to succeed and to reach our full potential. So I ask all of you, the next time you are asked to collaborate, do your best. Thank you.